How do you design a haunted house? There's only one man I trust to give an honest answer to that. Greetings, my friends. I am Lonesome, and this is my 60th episode. This interview is so scary, so terrifying. It can only be achieved with the smallest of budgets, shot entirely in one location, the apartment I currently haunt. And to adhere to travel budget restrictions, my guest will be interviewed
virtually.
So sit back and hang on for dear life, because this is the new paranormal. A production designer is responsible for the visual concept of a film, television, theater, or immersive experience. My guest today is a production designer who has had his hand in many noteworthy architecture. Or should I say, darkitecture? Please welcome Josh Steadman. Josh! Let us begin with a lightning round. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, by far, easily, is The Rocketeer.
Whoa, scariest movie I've ever seen. Favorite theme park ride?
It's in Tokyo Disney Sea, and it's the 20,000 Leagues.
Favorite candy?
Gummy candies?
Favorite bird of prey?
I like owls.
Favorite karaoke song?
Anything by ABBA. Let's just go with ABBA. Anything by ABBA. Top 10 ABBA hits.
Now, Josh, you're a production designer, an educator, and a pioneer of theme park attractions, particularly spooky ones. Tell me, what makes a spooky-themed attraction so special?
Spooky stuff has always been a part of my life. Kind of growing up with being close to the spiritual and those that are no longer living, I would say I'm pretty good at understanding the language behind it, or at least I think I am. I think there's a beauty to the creepy and bizarre. Everything that I've worked on in themed entertainment that was creepy and bizarre, I was able to do really, really well. So I pride myself in the stuff that we did. Specifically, the Cauldron Room in the Enchanted Storybook walkthrough was a love of mine, trying to incorporate as many Haunted Mansion effects in a park that didn't want the Haunted Mansion. I'm talking about Shanghai Disneyland. Also, Evermore Park, we did a lot of spooky stuff, and they still do. They're basically a haunt, and they knock it out of the park.
I know of one haunted house where the toilets are 3 inches taller than normal. They like to keep visitors on their toes. What makes a haunted house scary?
I don't like the chop them up, saw them up, bloody horror stuff. I think the ghostly is more interesting to me because the story treatments.
Torture porn is for the weak. You know what really takes guts? Digestion. Anyway, continue.
There's so much you can do with that. I'm a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro. The way he tells stories visually, and it's always a little bit creepy, but also aesthetically beautiful at the same time. And I think that's vernacular I appreciate. I love it. And I think as a set designer by trade, a production designer, that's what I look for. I look for, how do I tell a story visually that's interesting? Typical haunts, you're running through them. You know, the scenery is pretty dashed, I would say. It's meant to be something quick. People are going through, you're moving and trying to get as many people through an experience as possible. I like stuff where it takes your time or the guests can see it, they settle on it, they're looking at it. Haunted Mansion is obviously such a beautiful attraction. And I think the people that worked on that designed that, they understood that. They understood the creepy, they understood the stagecraft that went behind it. And it's really just a gorgeous work of art. I would also say the Tower of Terror. I mean, I'm a little bit biased. To answer your question, going backwards.
Favorite theme park ride?
It's in Tokyo Disney Sea, and it's the 20,000 Leagues. Besides 20,000 Leagues, Tower of Terror, Florida is probably up there. And I worked on that ride as a bellhop.
What do you call a bunch of dolls in line at an amusement park? A barbecue! Technically speaking, what is your process for designing a themed entertainment attraction?
You go through a client brief. Usually when a client subs and subcontracts me, they send me everything that they want me to kind of riff on as an illustrator. I'm a set designer who can draw. So a lot of set designers, is interesting, have a hard time drawing things. They can model things in digital form.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I always start drawing it first, and I like to see it as an illustration, as a work of art. And then people give me a hard time about this, but every set I design, I hand draft the scenery. There's something about my tangible hand going on vellum and drafting the scenery that look that I am able to promote or transcribe on paper ends up as final product. There's my hand shows up, meaning the way I draw shows up in final set. That's pretty important to me.
Are there tools you can't live without for this work?
Oh gosh, a pencil. I buy all my students when I'm teaching a Ticonderoga 2B.
Oh, just to clarify, that is a pencil you're talking about, right?
A Ticonderoga 2B.
Ah, there it is.
They're great drafting pencils. And if you know how to use one of these, everything else is easy. Something that I've been doing as a professor of production design is you got to know how to push graphite on vellum or on paper. You got to do this first. Everything else can follow and segue from there. But the basics teach the most and have the most value, because it all starts with the pencil.
Which theme park attraction is the most reasonable?
Why are you asking these hard questions?
The Ferris wheel. What makes you hungry, Josh? What motivates you to do this kind of work?
The entertainment industry is interesting. People don't like sharing the craft because it's so competitive, because it's about making more money and all of that. That's all fine. But at the end of the day, I'm a better artist when I'm able to collaborate with like-minded talent. That's what I look for. I look for true collaborators. Ego is so commonplace in the entertainment industry, and I have no interest in that. And in fact, I go the opposite direction. I'm like, how can I collaborate with fellow talent that might not be illustrators, they might not be able to draw, but they have abilities that I don't have, that I can maybe learn or improve on. But I like working with people who are just great people, fun to work with, and we can all put our creative minds together and make something amazing. Ultimately, in themed entertainment, that should be the commonality, the common goal. In my experience, that has not been the case. So I have decided to make it my case. I'm going to do it no matter what anyone else says, because that's how I like to work. And you get better product in the end. I have no desire to work for one person who makes it just about them. So if it's about some celebrity designer, no thanks. I'm not interested. I want to work with people who all want to make great stuff, and that we all take equal credit and we all get accolades based on what we can put out. That's more interesting to me.
Beautifully said, Josh. I know this is impossible because I'm a ghost, but you're going to make me cry. Excuse me while I compose myself. Anyway, thank you, Josh, for shooting the sheet with me today.
Thanks.
My friends, I must ghost you for now. Until next time, goodbye.